Hello and welcome to a Huskies Health. I am your host, the best podcast host in the universe, Steve Cully. I'd like to thank our sponsors at Procyon Partners. They are one of the top 50 fastest growing companies in the nation. They specialize in employee benefits, wealth management, and retirement planning. President Sean Rabinowitz, proud supporter of everything we do. Green Street Trust International, owned and operated by Rennell Jump. West Palm Beach, Florida. They work with businesses large and small, developing tax plans. They will save you money or get you a big fat return. To schedule your free strategic tax planning session today, go to www.greenstreettrust.com. Pete Finch and the Finch Law Firm out of Bridgeport, Connecticut. If you've suffered any type of personal injury, a slip and fall, you got hit with a construction beam at site, your mother-in-law tried to run you over with a car, your wife tried to stab you. Regardless, the Finch firm has fought legal battles across the state of Connecticut. He's not afraid of any insurance company. He will get every dollar you deserve in compensation. To sign up, all you have to do is go to thefinchfirm.com and be sure to remember, if you're ever in a pinch, call Finch. Dynamic Human Performance, owned and operated by Andre Dixon, UConn legendary running back. 5,000 square foot facility in Hartford, Connecticut. He trains boys and girls of all ages, of all sports. He just started a new boot camp program. 7 days a week, 6 a.m. You want to get in shape, work with Andre. He also has an athletic development program for boys and girls. You take a sport of choice you want to get good at. He trains you from the ground up and develops you to reach your potential to hopefully play at the next level, and that is college. Andre has sent boys and girls for many sports to college on scholarship. And to work with him, he is the best. www.dynamichumanperformance.com. Down south, we have Julius Williams and the Trench Mob. Julius trains offensive and defensive linemen in Decatur, Georgia. They are absolutely outstanding. They compete in 5v5 tournaments, which is offensive and defensive linemen. It's timed rounds and a point system. He's currently ranked second in the nation. He disputes this, believes he should be ranked first, and it's currently under appeal. Unfortunately, there is no appeal process, so he's really just wasting his time. They are going to college camps currently as part of the Trench Mob. You visit the campus, and then you compete in camp. Every college camp they've attended, a member has been offered a scholarship, which is an incredible achievement and goes to show the kind of talent that he actually has. They also have put together a virtual training program. Julius, you will have access to him. Well, I shouldn't say 24/7, but 24/7. If you want to call him at 3 a.m., do it. His kids will love it. He has put together weightlifting, running, and technique work that you can do to develop yourself. You're also allowed to come train with the Trench Mob in Georgia if you can make the trip down anytime. You're allowed to go to any camps or tournaments with the Trench Mob, and you're basically a member of the Trench Mob just out of state. Julius has sent kids all over the countries to some of the best programs: Florida, Florida State, Miami, Tennessee, Georgia, Alabama, Clemson, just to name a few. So if you want to work with the best, and this is 100% guarantee, not coming from my mouth, coming from Julius Williams' mouth, if you do what he says and you work hard and you go to the camps, he guarantees you will get a scholarship to play college football. And if you do not, you will be refunded your money back. Guaranteed. And it will be in writing. So to sign up to work with Julius, go to battleofthetrenches.com. And now for the man of the hour, a mental health advocate, also father's rights advocate, and part of the hit podcast, All Black Men Need Therapy. I think that we need to start a podcast, All White Men Need Therapy, because that's definitely true. Chris Bellamy, also a former UConn football star. Great to see you, sir.
Likewise, Cully. I appreciate you bearing with me with my technical difficulties.
We all have them.
A lot going on in the Bellamy household, but I appreciate you, man.
We all have them. So don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. Don't feel bad. So a lot has been going on, and there's been talk right now because the NCAA currently is going to start paying players July 1st.
Oh, wow. I didn't realize it was that early. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I guess that makes sense. Camp is at the end of July, early August, yeah.
Exactly. And there's a litany of questions because of, I know we spoke of Title IX. Title IX never accounted for payments to college athletes. It only made sure that women's sports and men's sports had equal opportunities and equal scholarship opportunities. So there was a lawsuit filed for Title IX, basically about the payment to athletes, because there are no guidelines as far as structuring it. If you want to pay a quarterback $10 million, you can pay a quarterback $10 million. And obviously the concern is the men's sports will get the majority of the funding compared to the female sports, and there'll be a discrepancy in pay between male and female athletes.
That's stated, or is that implied?
It was, I believe it was stated in the lawsuit. Yes.
Oh. So the lawsuit was to get everybody paid equally.
The lawsuit is that paying players violates Title IX because there's going to be inequality because it lists, sports being cut or turned into club sports, and the pay difference is going to be vast. They don't believe that it's going to be equitable. And, I asked several people this. I don't know if there's a way that you can make it equitable. Like, you can't say, like, they used Ohio State as an example. Ohio State has 33 sports, male and female.
All Division I sports, or
all Division I sports.
Okay.
So it's not like you can say, like this year the budget's $20 million.
Yeah.
The only conferences that have that are the SEC and the Big Ten. It's not like you can say, okay, we're going to pay every athlete on Ohio State sports teams $100,000 or something like that. And that's above the budget anyway, I think, but like $50,000 or whatever. So because football generates the most revenue, has the largest television contract, football is going to get a bigger piece of the pie as far as paying players. But the impact of it is of concern because sports are going to get cut. And they're saying, okay, women's swimming and diving gets cut. Now, men's swimming and
pause.
diving.
But why does it get cut, though?
Because of equitable scholarships. So if you cut women's swimming and diving, now there's not the same number of scholarships for males and females.
Do you believe – okay, two questions. One, do you believe that will happen? First question. Second question is, have schools already come out and said they're going to cut sports?
The schools themselves have not said that.
Let's pause there for a second, because technically it could be equitable. and I'll
It
explain.
could. It
Right?
could.
So it's
I
like,
don't know how, but
so I think about it like any type of business partnership. So Razul and I are tasked with creating equitable stake for our Husky investment group, right? For our next
correct.
project. Like if
Yes,
depending on how much somebody's financially invested versus sweat equity, so on and so forth. So I guess what
exactly.
I'm saying is it's very easy to be like, all right, football is the reason we have all this money. So we're gonna load them up. But it can be very equitable, or it could be equitable by saying, okay, the pot is 100%, right? Regardless of how the money came in, we know football gets the lion's share of this. So they're going to have the highest percentage. And other schools or other teams will be paid, but not to the tune that football will be paid. But if you're a scholarship athlete, then again, I don't even think that matters anymore. So if you're an athlete on this team for this university, you're going to get this kind of as
A stipend
like a
or
base salary, if you will.
correct. Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like you get a base salary. You're not a this is exactly how corporations work though. Right. So I'm a key employee at my organization. So for key employees, the comp is different.
Absolutely.
So
And
it's and that's how they're going to have to run these
that's
like
exactly what Maria
corporations.
said. Yes.
Yeah, that's all it is. It's like, and
That
if you want, because the other thing too, Cully, and not to go too far down a rabbit hole, there's nothing stopping each one of these kids for their own personal NIL deals.
there's not. No.
You see what I'm saying? So it's like, yeah, this is your job, right? You're a diver. That's your job. But because I'm
There's
a
no
diver,
limitations. Yeah.
yeah, because I'm a diver for a Division I school, and I'm attractive or I have this skill, I can garner attention. I'm going to leverage this attention by way of followers and then take that to a brand. You know what I'm saying? So it's like
Absolutely.
you because I just watched this thing. I forget the kid's name. He was a UCLA wide receiver. He was a backup, and he was open and honest about his NIL. Well, at least what he told us on his YouTube channel. He said, I never really played. I was always number two. I never really played. He transferred from FAU or FIU, one of the two, and transferred to UCLA. As a backup, he made 107 grand as a backup, all NIL. And he said, it's like, this isn't money that UCLA gave me. This is money that
No,
I
he
went
did
out
it
and earned.
himself. Yes.
Yeah. So I guess what I'm saying, dude, is.
But you have to understand NIL is different.
Oh, I agree.
Okay.
Yeah, I know. I understand that. Well, what I'm saying is the world
They,
is their oyster at this point.
yeah, you're right. Yes.
You know what I'm saying? Like you have the ability to do it.
Yes.
So go out and earn it. You know,
Yes.
like if you can go out and earn it, and whatever the base salary is, right? It's like I used to tell people all the time when they started working at my company. I would say all the time, nobody's coming here for the base salary.
And that's
Like this
exactly what
job
Maria
is,
said.
yeah,
Yes.
this job is too hard to just work for base salary.
Yeah.
Like it's incentive based. Like I work for a
Exactly.
performance organization. It's incentive based. So you eat what you kill.
You're
So
100%
so
echoing what Maria said. Yes.
there's ways to work it. Is what I'm saying. Like it's
Yes.
not all or nothing. It's like you give them all this money, you have to cut all these programs. I don't believe that. Now,
Yeah.
will that happen? Potentially at some schools, but I don't think it's going to be an overarching. All these sports are cut from all these universities. I don't see that happening.
Well, the concern is like, even at UConn is growing, something like that doesn't generate revenue. It relies on, football, basketball, whatever the sports that fund the scholarships to keep it going. And now being able to pay players, getting that money is going to result in probably having to raise tuition, different ways to generate the revenue donations. I don't know how they'll do it, but they think that it'll come to a point where they will say there's no point to put scholarships on rowing, to fund rowing, the travel for rowing, the rowing program. We should just turn it into a club sport and get rid of it. And that has been kind of what a lot of analysts and experts have been saying, is that the Olympic sports, the non-revenue sports, will suffer from this because the finance, as far as being paid, will go to, like you said, the people who earn it, the people who draw, deserve it, put asses in the seats, and the ones who don't will end up losing out. And there will not be an equitable number of sports in a few years. That's the concern. And that's why Title IX was suing.
So what's so crazy to me, dude, and maybe and please chime in. Maybe I'm oversimplifying this, Cully, right? And that's okay if you tell me I am.
No,
And
you never
you can tell me if I'm oversimplifying. It's more complicated than what I'm about to say. Here's the crazy shit. Nobody is getting, when I say nobody, no entity, right? No university, no. Let's just say no university. The university is not getting an influx of money. It's the same money that was coming in before.
Correct.
That's coming in now, but now it's being dispersed differently.
Correct.
So the crazy thing is,
they always had that television money. You're right.
So it's what the crazy thing is to me is, are you going to cut programs now because now I'm being paid? You know what I'm saying?
Right,
It's like,
right.
Like, what were you doing with this money before? Well, I would love to see a balance sheet.
Well, the other issue is the NCAA increased scholarship numbers across the board. So, like baseball had 11 full scholarships. That is going up to 35, I believe. Track.
Is there 35 people how many people are on a baseball team? I really don't know.
There's a lot. We did a baseball podcast. There's actually a lot. And a lot of them are pitchers. Track scholarships, the equivalencies. I mean, track had, I think, 15 to 20 scholarships and for men and women, and they increased close to 80, I think. So, being able to fund those scholarships is also going to cost money. And then obviously athletes being paid on top of it. I know Title IX is trying to say if the star quarterback is getting $5 million and our star 100-meter swimmer isn't getting paid $100,000, that's not fair. That's inequitable. That's in violation of Title IX. I think that's.
I would argue
more along it.
I would argue, and I would argue it is equitable, right?
Yeah.
Because I would argue it is equitable
because of the revenue and
yeah. Because a simple way to fix this is this. Okay, show me a balance sheet. I'm just throwing out random numbers, Carly, so bear with me. All right, it costs $1 million a year to fund the rowing team, right? 1 million. I don't know, right? Yeah. I'm just saying simple numbers. That's how many ever scholarships are allocated. That's gear, travel, the employees who support that team, their coaches, salaries. Yep, right. Now, obviously, there's trainers that support rowing that also support other sports, so it'd be a fraction of their salary. So it costs $1 million. We're getting $20 million. So anything over $1 million, right, can be this. Anything over $1 million that's allocated to rowing can be dispersed to the players, right, or the participants. You see what I'm saying? So you got now that's how you run a business, right? You have to. That's the cost.
Exactly.
Right? That's the cost, and the what you're paying the players is net income. You know what I'm saying? Like that's revenue.
Well, Right. It's not coming out of your pocket. I
Yeah,
mean,
it's like I guess it
it is.
technically is because they're used to putting it in their pocket. But what
Correct.
I'm saying is there's money coming in to fund this program. Give the players or the participants whatever is over that. So if it only costs $1 million, but because of this TV deal, Rolling sees 1.7, then that 0.7 can then go to the participants,
Right.
right? And however you want to do it. Now you're really running a business. That's it,
Right.
right? And also, who's to say that rowing can't become revenue generating, right? Like it's people come to the games. There can be merch sold. There can be appearances. There can be all kinds of things that
There's revenue
now,
streams
yeah, like
available.
you got
They're
to
not
get
using.
creative now. Yeah,
They
like
have.
not,
Yes.
but that's the other thing. All these sports, dude, they're becoming LLCs, like
They are
businesses. You know what I
100%.
mean? So it's
Yeah.
like you got University of Connecticut and all these separate LLCs that are the sports teams, and that head coach, that leadership team have to run those accordingly.
Right.
That's it. Like, yeah, obviously basketball is the biggest draw, but I remember there was a large period of time that football was actually the highest revenue generating
It
team
was for several
on
years.
campus. Yeah. So, and I don't know what that is now, but I can't imagine they're outpacing basketball right now.
No, we're not.
But there was a time, right? So something was being done, ran right. And another thing that people have to understand, and I know I'm going on a rant, but another thing that people have to understand is when you pay players, Florida basketball being an example, you pay somebody an absorbent amount of money, you win a national championship. What does that do? That then increases, it generates one, revenue, two, interest in the university.
And it did for UConn. We set a record for applications this year because we won the national championship.
So what are we talking about?
Yeah.
Right?
No,
Like the sports teams can position themselves to be self-funded. And
100%.
then TV contract can just be, on top of that.
Right.
So, but you need somebody in there with some business savvy.
Exactly.
That can structure deals.
Exactly.
But what I will say, the unintended consequence of that, or intended consequence, depending on whose viewpoint you're looking from, there's going to be a lot of players that fall through the crack in all sports.
Well, there has been because of the transfer portal. Not as many freshmen are being signed.
Yeah, but then think about it like this too, Cully. Your talk, that's one-sided. That's players entering the transfer portal. There's coaches are cutting players.
Yes, they have been. Yes.
Right? They're cutting players. If they can't produce, you're out of here. Now they'll help you find something, but it's no longer, and I get the uproar because there's no longer a development institution.
It's right. It's not amateur.
It's a professional. It's not. It's a business, right? That's what it is. It's a business. Like, call it professional, call it regardless of what. At the end of the day, it's a business, and I do believe there's some things that can positively come from this, obviously, right? But there's gonna be some hard lessons learned, man.
So a lot of the concern at UConn is, the television revenue from football, CBS Sports, is barely anything.
Yep.
It's like $1 million. The television revenue from Big East basketball isn't a lot. So the fear is UConn has succeeded probably the last decade or so on name, because we have a name brand for basketball. Football has improved tremendously.
Yep.
And we're not going to have the money to go out and pay players. But everything you said makes a point. We have to be creative in finding revenue streams, generating that revenue. I said, like, I would get Rip Hamilton, Jake Voskuhl, some of the best guys, Orlovsky. They got to go and meet with some of the top donors and say, hey, listen, you want to keep having success. We're not going to get the television revenue to pay the players. It has to come straight from NIL, and we need your help. I think they have to be aggressive with it, and that would be the way to bring in the funding to get some of the top talent for football and basketball. My fear is, and a lot of people question this, we won a women's national championship this past year. In the next 5 years, that top talent isn't going to be drawn to UConn because we may not have the money to pay them like Florida. And the SEC in general had 8 or 9 teams that were ranked in the top 25 for most of the season. And people say because it's a trickle-down effect from NIL, from football going to basketball. So do you think UConn has to be aggressive, change their model around to get that revenue coming in, and obviously join a conference as well? That would help.
So, dude, like my business mind is like, if it's not, because I didn't know Big East basketball didn't provide a lot for TV contract.
No, the contract is not comparable to what the SEC, the Big 12 get.
So
and that's why we left SNY.
The last 3 years, UConn has won a national championship.
Correct.
So
with the least amount of money.
Yeah. So my whole thing is that has to be worth something from a leverage standpoint.
That's what I thought.
And again, maybe I'm being extreme. What if Gino and Hurley was like, you know what? We ain't playing no TV games until we get more money. We're going.
The Big East Network, SNY. They're not on SNY anymore. Yeah.
If you really want to get, again, you need a CEO mindset in there.
That's why they're having
could
general
also
managers.
do.
Yeah.
Because do you remember when we were in college, we had our own TV system.
We did.
That?
Yeah.
Husky Vision or whatever it was called. I can't remember what it was called.
We did.
Dude, UConn could create their own network and have a subscription model. Right? And it's like,
does that, yeah.
It's like that will generate some money for sure.
People would pay for that for basketball.
People pay for it for basketball, and you'll get early. You can do early access. You can do a lot of different things. You know what I mean? Like one thing that we do as a university is we travel very well for football and basketball. If we're going to a bowl game, we're showing up. If we're going, obviously, national championships, Sweet 16, we're showing up. So there's people that's going to support that. And it's like, if we could figure out what that looks like, how to scale that, maybe we do both simultaneously, right?
Yeah.
Maybe we have access.
That's a good idea, yeah.
It's like, but dude, I'm telling you right now, man, there's no idea that shouldn't be brought to the table at this point.
But you do agree that we need to be in a conference?
Oh, 1,000,000%.
Okay.
And what I'm saying is, I agree with you. I'm like, man, let's make them put us in the conference, right? Let's not give them access to us.
Right.
That's what I'm saying. It's like, okay, you don't think we're good enough to be in the conference? We're going to do our own thing. Now, again, that's probably a pipe dream, right? That may just be me and my ambitious mind. But my point is, we have the goods. We have the goods. Maybe not for football yet, but basketball alone. I mean, football's gone to bowl games the last 3 years, right?
2 years.
2 years. 2 years. Went for his first year, didn't go a second year. Yep. So it's like that's not nothing,
I agree. I think it's worth something. Absolutely.
Worth something, but we gotta start throwing our weight around, man, because we don't.
I agree. We need to be aggressive with it.
We got to figure out a way, man, because I think Gino still has the allure to attract top talent.
They do.
Got to give them some money, but they're like, if kids want to win, they know where they need to go. So
100%.
That means something. And a lot of these kids, dude, they're coming to college with sneaker deals.
Already.
Like they're coming to college with sneaker deals. and all kinds of
and
deals. So it's
social media. Yeah.
it's like, so my point is there's people and entities that we can lean on like in like a negative connotation way, meaning like, all right, you don't want to do this, we're gonna push you until you do it. Like that's that type of lean on. So I don't know, man. Maybe it's far fetched, but I'm just thinking now is the time to get creative with some
No,
things like that.
I agree with you because I don't think we have much time left. I don't think we can survive as an independent for
No,
5 years.
no, dude, no.
I don't think there's a way.
I mean,
I
shit,
think
we
we're
were
just
only
gonna take time.
independent when I got there till 2000
2
or four. No,
or
well,
4. We came in early.
technically it's four.
Yeah.
Technically it was four. Like we were affiliated with the Big East, but remember
We played Big East
2003?
schools. Yes.
Right. We went 9-3 and still couldn't go to a bowl game. Yeah.
Correct.
So, which obviously times are way different now.
Yeah.
But,
Yeah. There's a million bowl games now.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's been the main concern with UConn. Because I've been trying to talk with Mike Burton and Store Central. That's the big NIL component where, it's $12 a month to be a member. But my argument to him is Store Central was created to give you insider access, content, all that stuff. It doesn't really provide that. And it's basically $12 a month. Like for spring practice, I think they did 4 articles. And I remember UConnHuskies.com, you get spring notes every practice. And I said, just, put our podcasts on there. Do that. That will add value, and we can promote Store Central. We can get you more members.
Yeah.
They have, 10,000 members at $12 a month. It's just not enough. So that's the concern. And then the other concern people have, our schedule this year is not, we don't play anyone spectacular.
No, we don't.
If the question was, if we win 9 games again or 10 games, do you think Jim Mora will leave?
No.
You don't think he will? Okay.
No, I don't, man. Because what has he done?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like he bought low, dude. Right? He bought the stock when it was real low.
He did.
And it's like he's really only had one winning season, right?
He came in 2021. They went to a bowl game in 2022. They stunk in 2023.
But 2022, they still had a losing record because they went into the bowl game.
7. You're right. Yes. Yep. Yeah. You're right. Yeah. Yeah. This was his first year. He was 9-4. Yes.
Yeah.
So I see what you're saying.
Yeah. Because the bowl game year, because we've been season ticket holders now this will be we've been there since he's been there. So
21.
Well, was it the 22 season or the 21 season that he was first year coaching?
The 21 season. Randy was. Oh no, I'm sorry. 22 was his first season. You're right.
Yeah. So right. So I was there 22, 23, 24. Yeah. So this is our 4th season doing the season ticket. So yeah. So yeah, he hasn't Randy leaving after the Fiesta Bowl made sense. I didn't like the exit and all of that, but
well, he took his shot. He knew that was his best shot.
Right. One could argue at that stage in our evolution, that was the highest that we could go, a BCS bowl game.
That's what he believed. Yes.
Right. Like we're not going to a national championship at that point. Right. So he bought low and sold high.
He did.
Mora, if we go 8 wins this year, which is very easy to go 8 wins with that schedule. 9 wins.
Under should be 8 wins.
Yeah, right. Exactly. So it's like
I agree.
This isn't the season that he goes shopping for deals.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like in fact, this season, in my belief, could actually hurt him more than it could help him.
It could if we don't have success.
Exactly, because you look at the schedule. We're playing Delaware and Central. Like, come on, man. So it's like you go 6-6 or how many ever games we got? You go 500.
You're hurting your value.
Yeah, your stock just went down, dude. So
Big time.
you need 2 back-to-back bowl wins and then a breakout season with the TV contract or a conference. Excuse me, with
And
the
getting
conference.
into a conference.
You win 9 games this year, go to a bowl and win the bowl. Negotiate a conference deal next year. Get into a conference, win that year. Now it's a different conversation. His contract's till 26, right?
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
different conversation. Like if he does that, different conversation. But right now, I don't think unless he wants to retire. But I don't see
I
that.
don't think so. I don't think
see
so.
that. I don't think he can afford
agree.
to right now. He can't afford to.
Are you a member of the C Club? Are you in the National C Club?
No, we've talked about this.
Okay.
I got to connect with Kevin Freeman.
No, I was just curious, just because it's supposed to be passing you along student athletes, and I've been trying to find out if they've been actively doing that.
No, I got to reach out to him. I'm going to be going up to the campus at some point in the not so distant future. So I'll figure it out. I'll get some time with him.
Me too. Good. Okay. Because I believe, that's kind of what I've been trying to do with some of the either the people I interview or the sponsorships that I have. Robert Belcour, I just got on board, and that was big. He has Cornerstone Financial, but he's working, I connected him with Sean Rabinowitz. He's doing work with him. He's doing work with Ronell Jump, Green Street International. And that's kind of what I've been trying to do, is connect the different businesses to work together to help keep them in the family that way. Are there any specific businesses that you guys look to work with, or you pretty
for
much
my podcast?
No, for your job. Like, are there businesses that you would work with, or is it?
I mean, we work. I mean, well, so Jump. Jump called me. At this point, it might have been last year. I can't remember. Like 4, 5, 6 months ago. He needed some people on the technology side, like cybersecurity. I believe he needed.
Yeah.
He reached out to me. So yeah, we work with everybody. You do.
Okay.
Yeah. We work with everybody. So we're on the Well, I'm on the workforce development side, but we're IT services, global IT services company. So yeah.
Okay, so it's mostly cybersecurity. Are you
No, it's everything. If there's a computer in your office, we can help you.
Okay, good. All right, so then I can probably connect you with Belcour. That was something he was looking for, and I believe Nedvon was as well.
I got to catch up with Fresh. I've been seeing his workout journey. I got to catch up.
He's doing great, man.
Yeah,
he's doing
I got
great.
to catch up with him. I love it, man.
He's doing great. And maybe even Pete Finch too. So because of you do a lot of technology work, you can work with anyone.
Yeah, we do everything, dude. I mean, we run the gamut. Like my company, there's different entities to my company, but there's not many positions we don't fill. Okay,
good. All right, so I'll make sure to make that connection. But yeah, I mean, camp starts. Payments are going to be going out July 1st. I hope that we're doing.
And have universities, or specifically UConn, have they decided how these things are getting dispersed?
No. All I know is if you go on the UConnHuskies.com football roster, they have $signs next to the player's name. So I clicked on Joe Figliano's name. For $46, you can get Joe Figliano to do a social media post for you.
Oh, wow.
You can get him to give you a cameo. You can get him to create a video. So I think they're trying to use that to generate revenue for the players, because they don't have the money to pay them. They'd have to pay them out of the endowment. And I know, like, one of the so our TV bill is what, $1 million? It's barely, like, I think we pay CBS Sports. No, I I know that it's not very high. It's not close. Like the SEC TV deal, the cap for paying players this year is $20 million. The SEC is still making a ton of money, even with paying that $20 million. Like it's not hurting them at all.
No,
We don't have that television revenue. So that's the concern that people have. We don't have that money coming in. How are we going to get talent? And that's the fear that like basketball is going to drop off because we don't have the talent to pay players. We have, Store Central's the NIL, and Burton is very active with working with the coaching staff and trying to give the players, he works with the coaches to pay market value for the certain players. Mark D'Amelio has done a fantastic job helping players develop their social media to monetize it themselves, so they're able to get deals that way. But that's the fear, is just not having money July 1st when payments start. Like I don't know if we're going to be paying players July 1st. I don't know what fund.
Oh, I see what you're saying now. Yeah,
And they changed, everything got changed around because, we used to have the UConn Foundation was the main donor fund for alumni. Now they've created, or they're pushing more, the Husky Athletic Fund. Have you ever heard of the Husky Athletic Fund?
I have not.
I have not either. It's on the website. And they make it confusing. There's 5 different ways you can donate. Monthly, yearly, you can donate to a specific sport. You can donate, I think, to a specific player. But that's kind of been they've been combative about it with Store Central, the NIL, and the Husky Athletic Fund. Because they feel they're pulling from each other. And I asked Phil Hunt this. I said, Phil, because I try to donate what I can every month. I said, Phil, what is more help? What helps you more? Do I donate to the Husky Athletic Fund or do I donate to Store Central? And he couldn't give me an answer. He said, I'll have to get back to you.
I'll get back to you. Yeah.
But that's a confusion they created because because UConn is one of the only few schools that now has a revenue sharing model. We're sharing revenue with all sports. Most universities are not doing that. If basketball raises this, that's what they get. If football raises this, that's what they get. We're not doing that. And I think it's just because we don't have enough money from anyone to do it. So they're pooling it all together and they're trying to disperse it. NIL kind of screws that up because NIL is strictly basically football, basketball, women's basketball, and baseball. So they see the added revenue from NIL, and the Husky Athletic Fund wants access to it. They want to be able to disperse it how they see fit. So that's kind of been the infighting or discussions going on. Because if you look at most schools, you combine NIL with the 20 million. A lot of schools have $50 million to spend. So that changes things when you have NIL on top of it. And that's why people are concerned with us being at a deficiency with not having money to pay kids from our TV deal or anywhere else. And we're trying to create it with, donations to kids on the website and, having people donate to the Husky Athletic Fund. So I don't know for sure, but I hope that it works out. And we'll find out soon.
Yeah.
We'll find out soon. But I totally agree with you. We have to be aggressive and we have to be creative. And you're absolutely right. Every sport is its own entity, its own LLC. Maybe every sport needs a general manager, and they have to come up
No,
with
but
ways.
there's plenty of colleges that have that though. They have
They
general
they they
managers.
they do for football or basketball, but
Right,
they
right,
don't for
right,
other
right, right,
sports.
right, right.
I think
Yes,
I
right.
I think
Yes,
you're
yes.
right, and I think they should probably have one for every sport. And they need people to sit down and come up with ways that generate revenue.
Generate revenue. Yeah,
Yeah,
100%.
I mean, I know pro wrestling. They would have people sign autographs. The stars would stay after. You pay $50, you get a picture and an autograph. That's how they generate a revenue. So I think that's what we have to do. I think we have to be aggressive about it. And I thought the same thing as you. Basketball, the success of basketball would be attractive enough to get us into a conference.
Yeah.
And it's not. And it's only because football makes so much more money that nobody cares enough about our success in basketball to bring us in.
Yeah.
So there
That's
was
tough,
talk
man.
also about adding us to the Pac-12 for football only. I think that's crazy. So we'll just have to see what happens. But
Yeah, because in 2 years we could be in the same situation if we get out to the Pac-12. You know what I mean? Like,
exactly, there's no guarantees of what's going to happen there.
oh my God.
I just have to mention Ned Von Young, Fresh himself, Fresh Fold Laundry Company, just outside of Chapel Hill, high-end laundry service. You schedule online, drop your laundry off. It's washed, dried, folded for you. Land speed records. You do what you have to do. Come pick it up. They have deals for college students. They have an online subscription model, weekly or bi-weekly. He's doing a phenomenal job. And he's looking to open up another one and start a chain if he can. Ned Von has a great business mind, and just congratulations to him. Check out his website at freshfold-laundry.com. You can see all the services that he has to offer. So for Chris Bellamy, mental health advocate, father's advocate, and the host of All Black Men Need Therapy, UConn football star. Thank you again. This has been a Huskies Health. Remember, when life gives you lemons, don't make lemonade. Take 2 oranges, throw them right back out.